Cordell Davenport here with SmallApartmentInvestors.com. The goal of Small Apartment Investors is to be a resource for current and future owners of apartments that are 5 to 50 units. And the method is a formula that I try to push. It's mindset plus skill set plus performance equals results. And this video is going to talk about skill set when it comes to investing in apartments, small apartments. And I'm going to talk about cash on cash return, using this to help analyze an investment. Okay, cash on cash is a term that investors use when they use it to gauge their first year return of cash that is invested in a deal. Now, this return is provided as a percentage. So right here, you can see a little formula right here. And the key thing is, it's not the purchase price that you're concerned about. Rather, it's what you put down, what you put on the table to make the deal happen. The actual money that you put up. Okay, now imagine that you need $100,000 to come up with to close the deal. And the seller has provided everything that you need. They've given you operating expenses, you have the rent roll, so you can look at the income. You run your pro forma, and you put in the vacancy, you put in a credit loss, and then you say, okay, what is this return going to give me? So here's an example. All right, pretend you get the gross operating income of $60,000. The operating expenses is $23,300. Now we have our NOI of net operating income of 37 G's. The mortgage, $26,300. That is going to give you cash flow before taxes of $10,400. And consider the formula that I showed previously. This is what we're going to do. So cash on cash return equals the cash flow before taxes divided by the cash investment. Now we take the $10,400 and we divide it by the $100,000 that we came up with, that we needed to close on the deal. And that is going to give us a percentage. 10.4 is the cash on cash return for this potential deal. Now, cash on cash is increased by having a higher loan to value on the property. However, a higher LTV increases your risk. While your return is increased, the net cash flow drops with greater leverage, and you'll have less cash flow to cover unexpected expenses. Now, when you use a cash on cash tactic, the only decision-making vehicle should not be just used on cash. There's other parameters that you have to consider. Because what it does is it only gives you a snapshot of the first year. Now, when you want to look up multiple years and you have multiple different types of cash flows coming in, this is a different concept than cash on cash. And when you look at multiple cash flows coming in, let's say out of 5 year, that is when you use internal rate of return, or IRR. Now I made a video about that previously. You can check it out on the website. Now here is the definition of IRR: the rate needed to convert the sum of all future uneven cash flow, sales proceeds, and principal paydown to equal the equity investment. Now what happens is that with some investors, they have a thing called a hurdle rate, a threshold that they want to hit. So when they analyze a deal, they mainly look at two things. They look at cash on cash and they look at IRR. And then there are some syndicators out there. If you don't know what a syndicator is, look it up. I'm actually going to do a video talking about syndication soon. But basically, a syndication is where people pool the money together to buy property. And when these people do that, they have criteria that they want to be met, that they want to hit. And it can be when they look at the numbers, they want a cash on cash of 7%, or they may want an IRR of 15%. And if it meets that, then they're going to go ahead with the deal. If it doesn't meet it, they're going to pass on it. So you have to figure out what your market is. What do you want to reach? What are your goals as you start to analyze property? Because it is all about numbers. Okie dokie. That's it for this video. Check out smallapartmentinvestors.com for a lot more. And see you soon. And remember, when you change, everything else will change.